Good morning, everybody. Bienvenidos. Welcome to Books and Tea. My name is Kat, and today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated reads of 2026 within the course of 3 months. I decided that I'm going to break up because there are a lot of books coming out next year that I'm excited for, but we'd be here all day talking about it. So I'm going to just include the releases that are coming out January, February, and March. And then every 3 months, I'll do an update with the next month's following up to that. I wanted to talk about everything that's coming out, and not only standalones, but also series. I know that I don't read incomplete series, but I wanted to mention them because A, I wanted to update my list, and B, because I want to put it on your radar if it's something that you guys are interested in and are excited for it to come out as I am. I want to talk about it. So for the first section, we have 2 books that are going to come out on January 13th. The first one is Woman Down by Colleen Hoover. So here's my thing. I love Colleen Hoover. I don't know what this deal is about a lot of people not reading her books anymore and not liking her. That's not my business. I love her, therefore I'm going to read anything that she writes. And this first book is a thriller, which I'm so excited for. Let me see. It says her words used to set the page on fire, but a viral backlash over her latest film adaptation forced Petra Rose to take a hiatus, resulting in missed deadlines and an overdue mortgage. Branded a fraud and fame-hungry opportunist, she learned the hard way of what happens when the internet turns on you. And she's been uninspired to write ever since. And now, with her next suspense novel outlined and savings nearly gone, she retreats to a secluded lakeside cabin, hoping to find inspiration. It's Petra's last-ditch attempt to save her career and herself, and then he shows up. I'm gonna leave it right there because I want to go in a little bit blind, especially with thrillers. I think it's just best to go in that way, but it sounds really interesting and I'm excited. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of Verity, and if it's anything like Verity, I'm down. Dámelo, because I'm gonna read it. Okay, and then the next book that we have is called A Vow of Vengeance. It's The Immortal Desires, and this one is really interesting. I'm trying to find more books that kind of fit outside of the norm when it comes to romance and fantasy. I don't want to read the same plot over and over again. I'm not saying that I'm tired of it. I'm just saying that it's better to read it every once in a while and then switch to something new. And this one seems interesting. It says, Deadly Tarot, Wicked Schemes, Dangerous Alliances, Can You Survive the Forge? Rune Riker has nothing left to lose. Everything's been stolen by the Immortals. Her family, her home, her freedom, but she's done playing by their rules. Ooh. Each year, humans are forced to journey to the immortal realms, but 20-year-old Rune orchestrates her own selection. Determined to find her family and destroy anyone that stands in her way, she is used to doing whatever it takes to survive. And now she must endure the Forge, a cutthroat college. Oh, I thought it was like a trials thing, but that's fine. A cutthroat college for the immortal druids, elusive tarot magic. I love anything with tarots, anything with horoscopes. That's actually one of my favorites because you don't see it as often. So it's really exciting when it comes. When June's magic reveals itself to be the rarest and most powerful, she must live with its only other wielder, Prince Draven. But Rune's ability also draws the eyes of the most dangerous druids in the realm. Some want to use her, more want her dead. And Draven offers to train her for a price. I'm excited to see how that is going to capture me because I love anything with that type of magic. I find it so cool, especially the way that people write the imagery of tarot magic and horoscope and celestial magic and things like that is always so fun to read. So I'm excited for this one. Okay, so those were the 2 for January 13th. Now we're going to go into January 20th. The first book that's going to come out, which is one of my most, I think I'm going to say most anticipated for all of them, but this one really excites me. It's My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. Does the title alone not make you feel like, what the heck is this about? Because what do you mean my husband's wife? What do you mean? That's my husband. Why you got a wife? Anyways, it says here, I'm just going to read the synopsis for all the books that are coming out just to give you guys a better idea, because there are a lot that I jot down on my little notes, but I don't remember the synopsis to all of them, so I'm going to just read it. It says, Eden Fox, an artist on the brink of her big break, sets off for a run before her first exhibition. When she returns home, nothing is as it should be. Her key doesn't fit. A woman eerily similar to her answers the door, and her husband insists that the stranger is his wife. ¿Qué? And it says, one house, one husband, two women, someone is lying. Oh my God, that sounds so... It sounds crazy already, because now I have so many questions building up in my head. I must write them down because, like I said, when I read thrillers, I like to put my Criminal Minds hat on and figure it out. Sometimes I don't like to, because then if I get it right midway and then it's exactly what I expected, I get a little bit down. But I'm gonna try my best. But I'm already so excited for it. It sounds so different and intriguing. I can't wait. The next book that's coming out on January 20th is called Room 706 by Ellie Levinson. Listen, when I read in the beginning, I just skimmed a bunch of titles, and then I read this one real quick, and I had to go back because I'm like, wait, what? ¿Cómo fue? ¿Qué tú dijiste? Because listen, no. Listen to this, because I've never read anything like this before. This is a married woman is trapped with her lover in a hotel that's under siege. What? Kate's children and her husband are her whole world. Since marrying young, she's dedicated her life to making her little family grow, but in the past few years, she's carved out something just for herself. Hours stolen away with another man. Oh my God, this is already too much. After one midday thrice with her lover, Kate's double life is thrown into chaos when she turns on the TV to find that her hotel has been overtaken by an unnamed dangerous group. As Kate's life hangs in the balance, she is faced with a gripping exploration of the murky gray areas of marriage, relationships, and womanhood. How's she gonna get out? And when she get out, how's she gonna tell him? Woo! Oh my God, this is one of those books that I have to like prepare myself for, because first of all, I'm already judging. What do you mean? You're in a hotel with your lover and your husband and your children are your world? That's crazy. But also, now you guys are trapped in a hotel. Both of you, you can't get out. So on top of the fact that you have to figure out this danger that's going on, you're with your lover, and then at some point your husband and children are going to find out. How are you going to explain that? How are you going to make it right? This is why people shouldn't be having affairs and doing all these things. I mean, it's already wrong, but like, you need to think about all these other problems. What if you get under attack while you... Anyway, I'm really excited to read this book. I didn't think that it would be one of my most anticipated reads, but now that I'm getting more and more into it, I'm like, yeah, I must know. I must know. Sorry, let me take a sip because I haven't even started reading out the book. The book hasn't even come out yet. I'm already... How was for January 20th? We have 2 books, and these are the last 2 in the month of January that are going to come out, and it's on January 27th. And the first book that we're going to talk about is The Unwritten Rules of Magic. This is by Harper Ross. I don't think I've ever read anything by Harper Ross before, but it sounds really cool. It says if you like In 5 Years or The Midnight Library, you would really like this book. Emerson Clark can't remember a time where she felt in control. Her father, celebrated author, was a chaotic force until he got Alzheimer's. Her mother turned to gin, and recently her teen daughter has shut her out without explanation. If only she could arrange reality the same way that she controls the story she ghostwrites, then life would be perfect, or so she thinks. After her father's funeral, Emerson steals his vintage typewriter, the one that he'd forbidden anyone to touch, and tests its keys by typing out a wish. When it comes true the next day, she tries another. Then those words also spring to life, and suddenly she becomes obsessed with using the typewriter to rewrite her happiness for her and her daughter. But the more she shapes her real life, the more she uncovers disturbing truths about her family's history and the unexpected cost of every story come true. She should destroy the typewriter, yet when her daughter's secret finally emerges, Emerson is torn between paying the price for bending fate and embracing the uncertainty of an unscripted life. Tell me that doesn't sound fantastic. So you're basically telling me that you have a typewriter and you can type out whatever wish you want and it'll come true. And you just keep typing and typing and you get it. But my thing is, why you keep tempting fate? Why do people keep... I swear, our most toxic trait as a human race is our curiosity. Because I know that this is fiction, by the way, but like, why would you tempt fate like that? We don't need to be diving into these otherworldly things, because then stuff like this happens. So excited to see how things unravel, how it happens, and then the journey to the end. Really, I'm not really someone that cares about spoilers that much, because I mostly enjoy the journey of how it got to that point. So I'm really excited. And then you guys, if you don't know, I am a Freida McFadden stan. I love Freida McFadden so much. Anything that she writes, I'm gonna read. I have not had that many bad experiences with her. I know a lot of people have a couple of hit or misses with her books, but so far I think I've only had one, and it wasn't even with a major book. It was with this novella called Death Row, that it was absolutely amazing, and then the end, I was confused by the end of it. I didn't like it. But she's coming out with another book, and this one's also coming out on January 27th, and it's called Dear Debbie. And then if my tablet will load, I can explain what it's about. Hold, please. There we go. Oh, no. Not yet. All right. Dear Debbie. The cover is so cute, though, and it's green, which is my favorite color, so I love it even more. It says, Debbie Mullen is losing it. For years, she has compiled all her best advice into her column, Dear Debbie, where the wives of New England come for sympathy and neighborly advice. Through her work, Debbie has heard from countless women who are ignored, belittled, or even abused by their husbands. And Debbie does her best to guide them in the right direction. These days, Debbie's life seems to be spiraling out of control. She just lost her job, something strange is happening with her teenage daughters, and her husband is keeping secrets. According to the tracking app that she installed on his phone. Oh my God. Now she's done being the bigger person. I know that's right. You better figure that out. And she's done being reasonable and practical. It's time to take her own advice. And now it's time for payback against all the people in her life who deserve it the most. Woo! That just gave me chills. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. My thing is, the reason why I love Freida so much is because you swear, I mean, there are books where you've been able to kind of predict a little bit about what's going on, but as far as me, I am still pretty much a thriller amateur. There are a lot of things with Freida's book that I don't see coming. There's so many books that I was left just staring into the abyss, because how could that even be possible? And I hope that this is another one that does that, because I'm super invested to see how this story is going to take place and see how she exacts her revenge on those that deserve it. Those are all the books that are coming out in January. We actually have a hefty amount, so I will be putting money to the side to purchase them if they are not on Kindle Unlimited. The next books that we're going to talk about are the books in February. I didn't see that many. There are only two that I was interested in, and they both come out on February 3rd. The first one, and this one is just to add on my list, is Cindervale by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. Guys, if you never read anything by the Twisted Sisters, please go do that. Please go do Zodiac Academy is my favorite fantasy series of all time. Of all time. And they just came out with a new series. It's called The Sins of the Zodiac. And Cindervale is the third book in this series that came out. I don't want to say anything about it because that would be spoiling the entire series, but the first book is Neverkeep, and this one just says the dragons are lost, the elements are at war, and enlisting isn't optional. And I'm falling for a man who wants me dead. That in itself should make you want to pick the book up immediately. I personally will not, because as I've mentioned already, I wait until series are completed. However, I will be updating my list because, I did post a video. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. I break down how I choose my TBRs and the way that I overthink. And part of the thing that I do is I have a category of incomplete series or series that just started. And I write the total amount of books and how many are out so far. So every time a new book in that series comes out, I update my list, and then that way I know how many's left. Should I be anticipating it very quickly? Is it already done and I can move it to the completed series section? So it's a really good way for me to keep track. This one I'm going to be adding to my list and updating it because I believe, is it 5 or is it 7 books that's going to be a part of this series? I'm not 100% sure, but we're only on 3 now, but still, I'm excited for everybody who is able to read incomplete series as it comes out. Please don't spoil it, but tell me how it is, because it's taking everything in me not to read it, but I'll let you guys comment. Did y'all hear my arm pop? Don't get old. Anyway, the next book that's coming out also on February 3rd is called A Stage for Villains by Shannon J. Span. This cover is so nice. I don't know why. I really like this cover. And I saw this book and I'm just like, wait a minute, what is this about? Because like I said, I want to find books that are a little bit different that I'm not used to reading. And this one says, the gods are dead and all that's left are the players. The performers of the playhouse are as worshipped as they are feared. Their enchanting shows bending hearts, minds, and even reality itself. 18-year-old River Hesper knows the dangers better than anyone, after her own encounter with a player resulted in a curse that is slowly killing her. So she gonna die. When the Playhouse announces the spectacle of a lifetime, a chance for one mortal to steal a player's immortality, River sees her last chance to live. Desperate for answers, she infiltrates the competition, and then she finds Jude, the Playhouse brilliant lead player whose charm is as dangerous as his craft, and strides a deadly bargain to save her life. But with time running out and the Playhouse secrets unraveling into a disturbing picture, Riven faced a possibility. She might not be the hero of her story after all. In fact, she might be the villain. Because the Playhouse doesn't just tell stories, it rewrites them. And Rivers might end in blood. What? That sounds so cool. Oh my god. It says that if you like Caraval, I haven't read that series yet. I'm dying to read it. It says if you like Caraval and if you like One Dark Window, you would like this book. And I loved One Dark Window. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be part of a series, which I'm even more excited for. It's just a one and done thing. But that seems really different, and it's 448 pages long, which is not that crazy. So it'll be a really nice book to read. Okay, mi gente, so the last books that I want to talk about, these are the books that are gonna come out in March. I only have 2 for those, and again, both of these books come out on the same day. The first one is Game On by Avisa Allen. And this book is the 3rd book in, I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is Lights Out. And I don't know if this is a standalone series or if it's a continuation, because if so, I don't want to spoil book 3. I haven't read Lights Out or caught up yet, but I don't want to risk the spoilers. So let me just talk about really quick Lights Out. It says, a viral TikTok stalker dark romance, burning with heat, banter, and a love story. I want someone with a soul as black as night. Someone who would burn the world down for me and not lose a single minute of sleep over it. So the trauma nurse, Allie, doesn't need more kinks. She likes the one that she's landed on just fine. To her, nothing could top the masked men she follows online, unless one of those men was shirtless, heavily tattooed, and waiting for her in the bedroom. She dreams about being hunted. She dreams about being hunted by one in particular, of him chasing her down and doing deliciously dark things to her willing body. She never could have guessed that by sending one drunk text, those dreams would come true in her new reality. And then he says, I want things most people don't, craving darkness and depravity instead of light and love. Josh Hammond spends his life avoiding the limelight, but his online persona is another story. At night, he posts masked thirst traps for his millions of fans to drool over, but one follower has caught his eye, Allie. After reading a comment begging him to break into her house wearing a mask, he decides to take her up on her offer. What kind of book is this? I need to read it right away. Wow, and I guess they explore their darkest fantasies. But with the now knowing that Allie has captured the attention of someone else, someone with far more sinister intentions. This says it has a lot of trigger warnings. So if you're going to read this, it's a really, really dark romance. Please search up your trigger warnings for this book or any book that you read. But yeah, this sounds amazing in a dark, twisty, psychotic way, but I'm interested to read it. So first is Lights Out, then it's Caught Up, and then Game On. Everybody that I know hates Caught Up. So I'm wondering if I should read Lights Out, and then if Game On ends up being really good, just skip to that one. Because so far, no one that I know or that I follow on BookTube likes Caught Up. And then you guys, the last book of this video, it's also coming out March 31st, is one of my highly anticipated reads of the entire year. And it is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. Listen, Abby Jimenez is God tier, okay? She is the only author to date. There's only two. Actually, maybe three. Sarah J. Maas, the Twisted Sisters, and Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez, I'm putting her by herself because she's the only contemporary romance author that I have on my holy grail. But she is the only author that every single book that she has released, I have read all of them. Every single book that she has released is 5 stars. 5 stars for all her books. All of them. Not one, not two, all of them. Okay? Anything that she writes, I'm grabbing it same day. I'm putting money to the side to get these books. I have a bunch, but I have them in storage right now. I have one right there just for the summer. And this one, she'll make interconnected standalone series, which I read them not knowing that. So I'm planning on maybe next year. I'm not sure. I want to do a full Abby Jimenez reread. But this one is the second book to Say You'll Remember Me. I don't really remember much because I read it so long ago, but this one sounds so fun. Listen to this. In everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing who to ride home with after a concert. That night, she had no idea that she met the perfect man. She and Chris are great friends, co-parenting a slightly unhinged rescue Yorkie, sharing their favorite books, and judging bread. For the first amid of her side hustles to scrape by, things finally feel easy. But she didn't choose Chris to drive her home all those months ago. She ended up going with his best friend, and he became her boyfriend. All Chris wants is for Larissa to be happy. Standing by on the sidelines is slowly killing him, but making a move would destroy someone else. How can something that feels so right be absolutely impossible? Love triangle? Give it to me. Give it to me because I'm going to read it right now. I want to read it right now. This book, I can't wait for it to come out. Anything that she writes with is just pure gold. Because here's the thing. She writes rom-coms. Her banter is chef's kiss. But she also mixes it in with deep, real life things that people go through that's very traumatic and that's very real and understandable. And I like that she does that because it's not like she takes a serious situation and makes it laughable. It's almost like she takes real life triggering and traumatic situations and shows how you live with it and how you make the best of it and how you can laugh and enjoy your life dealing with these things, because that's what it is. There are a lot of things that cannot be healed, that cannot be cured, that cannot be forgotten. but the acceptance of living with something and still being able to live a fruitful life despite that is really what touches my heart when it comes to her book. So I need to read it immediately because I don't want spoilers. I don't. All right, everybody, so that is the end. I believe that was 10 books, 9 to 10 books that are coming out between January, February, and March that I'm super excited about. I can't wait to read all of them. I'm gonna hope and pray to the book gods and goddesses that I can read all of them when they come out, because there are certain books that if they're paperback and I don't have the money to afford them at the moment, I won't be able to get them, but I really want to try to get through as many as possible. Obviously, the ones that are in part of incomplete series, I'm not going to read right now. Like I said, I'm just going to update my list because I do like to read them when they are complete and I can enjoy them more. But I will be tuning in to see what everybody else thinks about it, and then that will help me determine, you know, should I read the entire series? Should I skip one versus the others? I don't know. But I'm anxious to see. I think 2026 is going to be a spectacular book year. And not to say that I want the year to be over, but I just can't wait for next year to start. So thank you all so much for sticking with me and watching this video. Please comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. I hope you all have an amazing day. Hasta la próxima. Bye.